Howdy everybody, welcome back to another episode of Power Driven Diesel. Today we're going to be installing injectors in a 24 valve Cummins. So this is a fairly straightforward process. It should only take somebody that's never done it before about 2 hours to do it accurately and never have to worry about any problems. So let's get started.
No!
Okay, first we're going to start out with removing our negative battery cables. Then we're going to go to removing the air horn. So that requires a 10mm bolt and 11mm sockets. So we'll just remove this out of the way. Then we're going to remove the throttle position sensor to get access to all of the lines. Next, we'll remove the valve cover. I normally run them almost all the way out to make them easier to install. So as you can see right here, we have an electrical connector. So we need to remove this. It's really simple. There's just a little pin on the back. It comes right out. I've never had one be sticky. Next, this is technically the hardest part and the easiest part, most straightforward. You have to remove all of these lines. But these are the easy lines. We need to go down here and remove the lines on the injection pump itself, which can be kind of a pain sometimes. Next, after we remove the lines, we're going to remove these bolts. Just one. It's an 8mm head. And all you do is remove the one closest to the exhaust port. The other one stays stationary, you don't have to touch it. Those are just little keepers. We also need to remove this electrical connector, but it's pretty straightforward. Just pull on the tab, and then it just backs off. And that's all there is to it. And you got lots more room to get to those lines. Depending on your truck, sometimes you'll have a bolt back here that holds it on. Mine's missing, so I don't have to remove anything. Okay, these lines come off in 2 steps. They designed them pretty well. So you can get the 3 lower lines, like the 3 front ones, they just come right out. And then you'll be able to get to the back lines. No! It didn't even hit the ground. Why? Alrighty guys, the easiest thing about this job is all the tools are basically provided for you. All we're going to do is this is the intake manifold bolts. We're going to screw it into the head of the injector, and then it's pretty easy. You just pull up. If you don't forget to pull out the connector tube. Okay, let's backtrack there for a second. So, what we need to do next is we need to remove these connector tubes. So it's pretty easy. If they're pretty loose, you can just pop them out with needle nose pliers. If they're a little more stubborn, you can put the injector line on it, like just one thread, and then pry against the injector line. Most of the time they pop out pretty easy though. Then, all you need to do is put this bolt, this is one of the intake manifold bolts, and the top of the injector is actually threaded. So you can just screw it right in to the top of the injector. Oh man, alrighty. So sometimes guys, the coppers don't come out with the injectors. Most of the time they do, but sometimes they don't. So that means we're going to get in there with a pick and just feel for the copper and pull it out. Unfortunately, this is the number 6 cylinder, so of course the most difficult, so you get to see me struggle.
Two hours later.
And there it is. Alrighty, so as you can see, this just slips on here with a little bit of effort. Just slips on, and then hopefully you don't have the issues that I had. We just got these new fancy coppers that make them stay on. So that way they don't have to worry about falling off. Okay, to install these, all we're gonna do is put a little bit of oil around here. That can be the used engine oil from inside the valve cover or new oil. It makes no difference. You're just trying to lubricate the seal a little bit so it doesn't tear when it's going in. Let's get to work. You do want to make sure that this eyelet is pointed towards the connector tube, which will be sitting at an angle right here. It is not in line with the top of the injector. It's just slightly off of it, so you can't really use that as a reference. You just have to kind of make your best guess. One of the things that I have learned is you can use the hold down to index it to get it in place. And then you're going to push against the standpipe with your thumb or something else. You should hear a good solid thunk. It will put it into place. All that's holding this in place is the O-ring. So we'll finish installing the rest of the injectors this exact same way, and then we'll tighten them down equally. So we're not going to tighten one down all the way and the other one down all the way. We're going to tighten this one down a little bit and the injector down a little bit, injector standpipe. Going in towards the back. Okay, we need to focus on tightening this in conjunction with this. We're gonna tighten them both a little bit at a time, just like this. Just slightly snugged, and then this will be the same thing. Just a little snug, and then a little more snug. Till that one's tight. And this one's tight. Right about there. These are only a 6mm bolt. They only tighten to about 89 inch-pounds. Okay. And then I'll be just running through the rest. Brad probably looks so great up there. Alrighty guys, as you can see, doing 24 valve injectors just isn't that hard. So please, if you want to see what this thing does on the dyno, click subscribe, come back to the channel. We're going to be doing a series of videos on this showing you how much power you can get out of your truck and what turbos and injectors to do. So see you next time.